Whoa! NXT Roadblock just went off the air, and we're on Popular Review, and we are going on the air right after this theme show. It is going to be the Great Grand Slam Poobah, joined with the Wrestling Doll. We're going to talk about it. There's a few matches, there's a few segments, a lot of storylines progressed, and we're going to talk about it all after this introduction. So, introduction, please. Oh, I didn't play. That's such a great introduction. Hey guys, it's Unpopular Review. This is the NXT Review Show. I took a week off, but I want to give a shout out to the Wrestling Doll. You held it down last week. I had a moment where I said, I just want to take a breather, but you held it down. Shout out to the executive consultant. I do apologize for leaving him with you, but you did a good job carrying him to a good show. One day, kid, you will get there, and I'm talking about you, EC. But Wrestling Doll, how are you?
I'm fine. A little upset I couldn't get into Roadblock, but hey, it is what it is. That means I get to be here. And then you don't have to be with the executive consultant, and he doesn't have to act like he has to go to therapy every time he watches NXT.
Yeah, I thought this was a really good episode. This was fun. There was a lot of storylines that progressed, and I can't wait to break it down with you. We got in the chat. We want to thank you guys. You're watching us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. So if you're watching us on YouTube, please hit that like button. It helps out the brand. It helps you out too, because when we go live, you will know. So hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification button. Do us a solid.
So you never miss anything that we put out. Whether it be the Mike Knox Show, AEW, SmackDown, Raw, predictions, after pay-per-view shows, all that fun stuff.
Absolutely, and there's so much content here on Unpopular Review. I just want to give a shout out to this brand. I mean, right now we're going to talk about NXT. We're going to break down to it, but we have Raw, we have SmackDown, we have AEW, both. I almost said division. I'm sorry, Dynamite and Collision. I combined them for whatever reason, and so much other content going on. So please subscribe to that. But let's talk about this NXT show. This was Roadblock. The show opens. I'm sorry, I do stuff old school here, folks. I write stuff down because my fingers just can't keep up like it used to do with the text. And we're going to get you guys in the chat because I see you, George, in the chat. I see you, Warman. JL, he says hello. We see you guys. Please, in the comment, give us your thoughts on this show. Tell us what you think. I thought the show opened. Well, first off, before we talk about the match, right? I thought this was honestly the match of the night, talking about Dijak and Joe Gacy. But it opens up with Lexis King. So he's not on the card, but he's in the car and he's driving. He's giving us the rundown of everything that's going to happen tonight, all the matches. So that's the one and only time that we see Lexis King. It looked like a nice car. Didn't that look like a nice car, Wrestling Doll?
Well, if he can't get his ass beat on stage in the squared circle, then the next best thing would be the fellas who is going to get their asses handed to them in the ring tonight.
Wrestling Doll with the heat already. Great job.
I have no heat towards Lexis King, but I'm just saying if he's not getting his ass kicked tonight in the ring, he's staying safe by being in a car, hopefully not in the NXT parking lot, and just telling us who's going to be in the show tonight.
Real quick, before we get into these chats, right? I mean, before we get to the match, I just want to get into the chat because I saw an interesting thing, but I want to get let's start off with George. He was the first one here. He says, "What's up, everybody? What is going on, George? Missed you last week. I know you was here last week, George. NXT Roadblock was pretty solid, absolutely. He also said the first match between Dijak and Joe Gacy was pretty good. I thought it was great. We're gonna break it down.
Go Unhinged will be awesome.
He says he is ready. Roxanne Perez attacking Lyra Valkyria was a heel move. It was pretty heelish, right? Like,
I mean,
it's kind of
whining and moaning and groaning and bitching and complaining about how everybody's getting these title shots before her. Listen, girl, let Lyra fight somebody else. And because you couldn't control your temper, you did what you did to the poor girl. And Lord knows how long she's going to be out. So because of you, there is nobody to defend that belt unless Tatum takes over and decides, you attacked my best friend, the person I look up to. I'm going to whoop your ass for what you did to her.
oh, there we go.
We can just say right now, I called it.
We got you called it. JL says hello. We say hello back to you, JL. Wrestling Doll was better than EC. See, so there you go. You got the chat.
Well, I mean, you don't question everything I say and why I say the quote-unquote wrong thing, even though in wrestling there is no such thing as a right or wrong thing.
No, unless you like Bill Goldberg, then you're completely wrong. I'm sorry. Honestly, the low point of this...
I don't care for Bill Goldberg.
There we go. Bill Goldberg, right? You don't want to just call him Goldberg. You got to say Bill Goldberg. Honestly, the low point of the show was the first match. I felt it was underwhelming, and I'm really surprised by that. JL said he hated the steel cage match. He felt bored. That's what made me want to read the chat, because I'm surprised. I really thought that was a great way to open up the show. But you are one, sir, entitled JL. Is this the famous JL who is a big Bron Breakker fan?
Who else?
This is him. Okay, so
it's the same profile picture on his YouTube and the same person who always makes comments about Bron Breakker, and he keeps saying I'm a hater. I've been watching Bron Breakker since he debuted in NXT 2.0.
Right.
And I've been a fan. And I've given my honest opinion about him. So you can't say I'm a hater if I'm just giving my honest opinion.
You hear that, JL? She's giving her honest opinion, so you can't hate that. But he also says his favorite match was Braun. I'm not surprised, but the show felt very predictable, especially the main event. You know what I think about the show?
It's going to happen sometimes when you're watching. You're going to feel, oh, this is what's going to happen.
Shouldn't Roxanne be on the main roster? I feel like they are staying there for way too long. I feel like Roxanne gets called up. So here's the thing with the main roster. I do feel like she's ready for the main roster, but they're trying to find a spot for her. One of the things I wouldn't do is just call her up just to call her up. I do agree that she's ready, but I would save her for, like, they just called up Tiffany not that long ago. Let Tiffany get some moment to get her time on the main roster.
Tiffany is literally the moment right now. She's more over than Naomi, and Lord knows how over Naomi is. Especially during
she's over. I mean, we got the devil in the chat. He says no one asked you, and then we got. I'm hoping I'm saying that. I see John. Was it John L? I'm hoping I'm saying this gentleman's name right. But hi, how are you? Thank you for joining us, and we hope that you continue to stay here. I hope you hit that like button.
And
let's talk about
this. With this spoon, just know I'm eating ice cream.
I have a spoon too, but it's for my tea because I decided to have tea. But what kind of ice cream do you have there, madam?
Cookies and cream.
Fantastic. Cookie and cream is fantastic. I think I just discovered Rocky Road. I think I discovered Rocky Road is not really good. I think I learned what it was, and I said, "Oh, that's nasty." Let's talk about this match. Dijak, Joe Gacy. Some spots in this match. This match was hilarious. So I look at Dijak going against Joe Gacy as Batman against Joker if they decide to have an actual wrestling match. And Joe Gacy is really Joker because in this, I feel like it was the first 2-3 minutes of the match. Dijak, there's a box that says "Do not open," and bro, if the thing says "Do not open," do not open. See, I watched Alice in Wonderland, and anytime the thing said "drink me," I said I would never drink that. And you know what happened when she
grew big or she got small, but that was to get out of the doorway, to get out of where she was at. Listen.
Go ahead.
As humans, we see or hear don't do something. We're more inclined to do it because we're being told not to.
This is true. No, you're not lying. Like, if you see something, like if I see a box that says "Do not open," I sit here and go, "Do not tell me what to do," and I'm going to open the box. So I totally agree. But the thing is, when he opened up the box, he got hit in the dick. You know, pretty much like Nakamura back in 2018 when he used to just hit people in the dick. So this box, literally, there was a boxing glove, and then pow, right in the woohoo. So Dijak is taken down by this a little bit.
Giving Shinsuke Kikamura a run for his money.
Absolutely. Like, Nakamura just ran out of money. Because
I said Kikamura.
Oh, Kikamura. Yeah, that ran Kikamura out of business here. But there's some really good stuff here. There's a lot of spots. I mean, these guys are brawling back and forth. But the spot really here of this match was one when Dijak climbed up top of the cage. Dijak is 6'7", 6'8". That's a big dude. Hits this moonsault and looks something similar to what Kurt Angle used to do back in the day. Which is, I mean, I think there's been 2 times where he done it off the cage and missed, and it looks so brutal when he misses. But Dijak was able to connect, but Joe Gacy kicks out. Dijak continues to put the pressure on Joe Gacy. He even puts him in a straitjacket. He struggles for a bit, but eventually he's able to put the straitjacket on him. But Joe Gacy is still fighting back. Joe Gacy, I don't know how he gets this, but he's able to get a kendo stick and he starts hitting him. Matter of fact, I missed a spot because I turned around for a bit. But I turned around, and when I came back, Joe Gacy had tape over his eyes, which is similar to what Dijak had in that match that they had at the last pay-per-view. I think it was Vengeance Day. So it was Dijak getting revenge on Joe Gacy. Joe Gacy's still hitting back. He's hitting him with a kendo stick. He's swinging at everything. But Dijak, he did. He used everything he could get his hand on. But Dijak is the one that took 2 feast your eyes. To the first one he hit, Joe Gacy got up, but then Dijak hit it again and he pinned him. And I think this is the first time that Dijak won a feud, because I feel like this feud is over. We'll talk about it a little bit later. But what are your thoughts about this match? And we'll move forward and we'll get into the chat.
And it's nice for Dijak to finally get a victory after Lord knows when, since coming back down into NXT. As far as like the feuds that he's been a part of.
No, I totally 100%.
Lord knows what they're gonna do with the Gacy next. I mean, they could keep making him be crazy and have him be obsessed and keep going after Dijak, saying like, "You'll never get rid of me." Be like Gollum from Lord of the Rings, and he's like the treasure, like my precious.
That's fantastic. We're gonna move on real quick, but let's get into the chat real quick. They're trying to push Tiffany Stratton. That's what George says. Tiffany Stratton is not more over than Naomi. We got George.
Like she is, so they saw how she was treated in Australia throughout the entire night.
That was I got to say as well.
During the women's elimination chamber match and the men's elimination chamber match, like y'all saw these women fight like 2 hours ago. She's not in there. We got common sense and all booed Logan Paul. What the hell was that grown man doing drawing in that damn elimination chamber pod?
I mean, when you don't have nothing to do, I would have been drawing too. I would have probably just been making smoke signals.
Well, yeah, with you it's fine because you're adorable. With him, he's just annoying, so it's a pain.
Oh my god! Thank you. I was gonna try to sing, but I don't want to scare the viewers away. We got George. He said that backflip that Dijak did. I was like, for a big man, I didn't think he would do that. Well, Dijak is very athletic for a big guy.
I mean, when you're 6'7" and you're that athletic, what else can you do?
Oh my god! Yeah, we got New Age Man. Hi there, guys. Tomorrow afternoon, it's the Xbox Showcase video game coming up tomorrow after the bump. Fantastic. I'm more of a PlayStation guy, so I don't know what's going on. Matter of fact, I'm seeing everyone talk about this 2K game, and I'm so jealous because I gotta wait till Friday. But everyone already got it. Hi there, Wrestling Doll. H-Man says, nice hair.
The power
H-Man is so
nice. In Florida.
I was flipping back and forth from NXT and Super Tuesday. What's Super Tuesday? Oh, I'm sorry. I was sitting there. That shows how much I'm paying attention. Who is adorable? I'm adorable. Sorry, it ain't you, guy in the chat. This segment, let's talk about this real quick. Tony with the family, and I'm sorry because I don't got the lawyer's name. It takes me a while to actually. Yes, he joins the family after showcasing that he can throw hands when he threw hands last week with Dijak. So he's a part of him. And a crowbar, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he really. I gotta say real quick because I wasn't here for last week, but I was really impressed because I know he was in the breakout tournament. I know he was in something. And I didn't see enough of him. But last week when I saw him, I said, I need to see more of this lawyer. I've never seen a lawyer fight back at people. Fantastic.
Well, he's a lawyer, and he's now a consigliere, which I did check the definition of it before we got into it. And it's basically like an advisor, a mediator in the family of a mafia family. So if anything, like if any disputes were to happen between any of them, he's their go-to guy to keep it calm.
See, this is why we make such a great team wrestling, dog, because you know I wasn't going to look up anything like that because you're much smarter than me. I would have picked it up and probably dropped the dictionary. So fantastic that you did that. We got...
That's the joy of live blogging. I can just use that to help me find my information.
Fantastic. Good evening, Crazy Joe. I know him. That is the Diesel to my Bret Hart. Yes, because I don't acknowledge one Shawn Michaels. Bad Guy Jack, you are adorable, and you are a Sonic the Hedgehog fan. Thank you, George. See, I like that. See, there's so much kindness going on. I only missed 1 week. Maybe I should just miss a week, and then you guys miss me. But let's talk about this. There's another segment. It's not I'm sorry. I was going to go right into the match, but let's just talk about this segment real quick. Fallon Henley and Riley Osborne, they're talking. Riley Osborne had feelings for one Thea Hale. He likes Thea Hale, but Thea Hale...
He likes her for who she is, not who she was acting to be, because she was given advice by JC Jane to play hard to get. Now, there are a few guys that like girls that play hard to get and like the idea of the chase, the thrill of all that. Some guys don't care for that. They just want the girl that they look at or they know how she's personally like, that's who I'm interested in. And he said that, she seemed all bored, like she didn't want to be here, that's not the girl that I got interested in. And as they were talking, Blair Davenport says, look, it's the girl who can't mind her own damn business, helps everybody else out, but can't help her own self out. And that Thea's not even Riley's type. And Thea's like, how would you know what his type is? Ooh. I mean, we all know Riley's type in real life. It's Blair Davenport, but as far as NXT kayfabe, we don't. His type is Thea Hale,
right?
And so they're basically going to possibly have a match, whether it be tonight or in the future.
You know, when you said it out loud, and I know that they're engaged in real life, talking about Blair and Riley. But when you said that, I was like, "Oh, right!" I could have kind of slipped my mind. So when you said that, I was like, "Oh, that's kind of fun." Because segments like that is fun when you have real life couples and like there's a storyline, but you like if you know, you know. So I thought that was really, really cool. I mean, that was something that you mentioned. So yes, and that's going to set up for a match later in the night. But let's talk about this tag match. I thought this was a really good match. You have the Wolf Dogs, Bron Breakker, and Baron Corbin. Bron Breakker, who is SmackDown. I won't even say bound, but he is on SmackDown.
He's SmackDown bound.
There we go. And then went against Chase U with the team of Andre Chase and one Duke Hudson. I want to give praise to you last week because you was on and you didn't bad mouth one. Everyone knows that I am a big JC Jane fan. I love her. She doesn't do anything wrong. I don't want to throw names out here. Yes, we will. I don't want to throw names out here, but the host previously that was here clearly don't know nothing. Tried to badmouth JC Jane, and I was very, very upset. But JC Jane, obviously the leader of One Chase U, it's not Andre. Can't be Andre. I know you guys miss my talk bad about Andre Chase, but Andre Chase don't know what he's doing. And that's why you could tell not Thea. You could tell JC Jane is sitting there going like, just follow the plan. Just do this. Clearly Chase U got dominated when they went against the Wolf Dog. The Wolf Dogs whooped these guys. I can't even say dominate because this was a really good back and forth match. Duke was showing what he can do, but I feel like Duke is always the guy saving Chase U, with the exception of one JC Jane, but saving because Andre Chase would get in the ring. He's getting his ass kicked. There's a lot of just domination in the ring, just getting floored. But when Duke gets in there, he's just shoulder blocking people. He has a great I say black hole slam. I'm sorry, but it's really called the Boss Man Slam. It's a beautiful move. He's doing his due diligence, but Andre's not holding his weight. How do you guys even get behind this guy if he's not holding his weight?
Well, besides the fact that Andre Chase is a smaller person compared to 3/4 of the people that are in that ring, not counting the referee. I mean, for crying out loud, all these guys are like 6 feet over. Meanwhile, this one is. Oh, no, wait, never mind. He's about as big as they are. He's 6'2", but still.
Cool. Oh, Andre? Okay.
I thought he was shorter because Duke Hudson towers over him, so to speak, and he's only an inch taller.
Duke is a big dude. He's like 6'5", 6'6", I think. What is that? He's over 6 feet. Oh, he's 6'5". Okay.
His Instagram name.
Okay. Because that's really, yeah, absolutely right. Hell of a name, by the way. The Wolf Dogs. There was a spot here. I just felt like it was important to mention. But Braun does a thing. I think Duke was like laying on the table and he just jumps on him. I thought that was hilarious. But Wolf Dogs get the win. Baron hits the end of days. Andre gets up, gets spared. 1, 2, 3. Wolf Dogs retain. I want to get to the chat real quick before we talk. Hear your opinion, madam. But because George, he sat here and said, as we're talking about the Wolf Dogs are going to lose at NXT Stand and Deliver. Do you agree to that?
Depending on who they're fighting.
True. Well, they're saying there's supposed to be like some kind of tournament. I didn't even hear about a tournament until later in the night.
A triple threat or a fatal four-way like last year.
Good point. Good point on both hands, on you and also George.
Can
George.
Do better than last time, considering last time they ate the pin.
I honestly thought that they should have took the titles off of
the family.
Yeah, it was the family.
But they weren't fully ready yet.
I felt like that was such a
table. Now it feels a little more ready. They could take the belts, but depending on who else might be in this, will determine our choices.
No, I think that's a fair point. You know what it is in that match? I just thought that was the best that they looked. I mean, earlier in their run, I was like,
well, now they look better.
Yeah, but now they look a lot better. They look like when they were in that match, that was to me was their coming out party. So I thought that was great. But before we do a commercial, what are your thoughts about this match, madam?
Well, first of all, when I was watching at the end of it, when I saw that Andre Chase was the one that got pinned instead of Duke Hudson, I was like, oh, Grand Slam Poopa's going to be happy about that. That it was not Duke Hudson that got pinned, because he would have been saying that it was a monstrosity, that it was baloney, balarmy, all a short word of all things wrong.
I love it, baloney. You know me so well.
Yes. But it was a bit back and forth. I mean, you can't really go wrong with either team. I mean, both sides the people do like. It's the first time Baron Corbin's been liked as far as like in wrestling and like whatever.
No, it's a fair point. Because I feel like he's been a heel for a long period of time, and he had that go-away heat.
It's like the Zelina Vega effect when she was in when she became LWO overtime. They became good guys. And for her, it was very weird for her to go to being a babyface character, because she still thinks like in heel mode sometimes. Like, you can still do heelish like things and be a babyface still, kind of. That's why you brought up the chancla, or some Spanish people call it the chancleta.
Yeah, see, you said it with such style. I just call it deadly or just ouch, because if that thing hit you.
There's words for it. There's sandal, flip-flop, chancla, chancleta, zapato.
Yeah. All I know is I never want to get hit by one of those things. It's so legendary, powerful that it's caused earthquakes.
Who's hitting you with it and how much strength they put in behind it, because Latin parents would scare the crap out of their kids, threatening to hit them with one or whipping them with the belts.
You know, I believe that if it's in the hands of a 90-year-old Latino woman, you are going to be smacked into the next century, because there's going to be so much power in that one hit. Just wanted to throw that out there.
Well, it also depends on what part of the family you were born in, whether you were born as the first, middle, or youngest child.
And there we go. Broke down the science. But guys, we're going to play a quick commercial. We want to thank you guys for watching Unpopular Review. Once again, I'm going to keep saying this until the stream is over. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that notification, hit all that stuff. We're going to play a commercial. Wrestling Doll is going to continue to eat her ice cream, and we're going to catch you after these words.
Now before The Rock drops some gospel on you.
What is Cody's story? What is Cody's story? Because his story went from winning the belt that his daddy couldn't, doing it for his family, then doing it for himself, then being hell-bent on taking down Roman Reigns. Which one of these is the story?
Scott, that's a Versace. And the less fabric on a Versace, the more expensive it is. That's not $799. That's probably $27.99, as in $2,799.
Finally, your life has meaning.
They're Salt Lake. He told the truth.
Finally, you and your 50 wives.
They're in Salt Lake. He told the truth.
Your 600 inbred grandchildren one day.
They're in Salt Lake. Okay, I know what you mean, Matt.
Probably right,
but he told the truth.
There goes our Utah audience.
Don't care.
You shut your mouth, fatty. The Rock will come out there and slap the herpes off your lips.
Just the timing of "shut up, you fatty." That is terrible. Whoever made that commercial is just very, very has something against fat people. How dare you do that?
Say this. He was asking, "What's Cody Rhodes' story? Which one's Cody Rhodes' story?" All of them.
All of them. All of them, right?
He won't finish the story, so help me God.
So he better finish the story. But guys, you can check that out. That was just a glimpse on what SmackDown looked like. That is the SmackDown review show. You can catch Zeta Silent and Vic on Saturdays around 12 p.m., 1 p.m. It's usually in the afternoon on Saturday. So if you are free on a Saturday, because I feel like you guys are enjoying this show, you're gonna enjoy SmackDown review. So check it out, especially this Friday. After this Friday, because Cody and Seth are gonna go to SmackDown. So that's going to be a fun review for the next day. That's all I'd say. But let's move on. This is an NXT review show, and we say thank you. But we have Shawn Spears. I didn't get this gentleman's name, but I got Connor. That's all I knew this guy as.
Uriah Connors.
Thank you.
Formerly known as Brogan Finley, son of legendary wrestler Fit Finley.
Oh. Ooh.
I have seen him wrestle live at a company called GCW, which stands for Game Changer Wrestling, and he is very talented. And even though we didn't get a lot of it today because it was Shawn Spears' debut, which shout out to the NXT/WWE creative for letting him keep the name Shawn Spears instead of putting him back as Ty Dillinger.
Yeah, I gotta say that was amazing. I saw a lot of people last week. And when he returned, the people were like, "Oh, now everyone is a Shawn Spears fan." Now, I'm not gonna act like I'm a diehard Shawn Spears fan or whatever.
I mean, we don't have to be, but we can respect what he does.
Right, and I was just gonna say, I was stunned. I was like, "Oh, he's back." I didn't expect all that writing that they did.
I expected. I'm gonna say the same thing I said last week.
Sure.
How they were saying it, even though it was a male voice, I figured maybe it would have been Julia from Japan. The girl wrestler from Japan. I thought that would have extended that since she's going to be there for a little bit longer. So I thought maybe they finally got to sign her and she's going to come over to the States to wrestle. But no, it was Shawn Spears, which took me by surprise until I saw the silhouette with the chair. And I was like, there's Shawn Spears.
Right. I mean,
who else is the chairman nowadays in wrestling? Just Shawn Spears.
Yes.
Unless we're dealing with Christian Cage giving us a concerto.
Yeah, no, that guy, right? There's really not much to break.
This is insult everybody that doesn't have a father. Well,
I know, right?
So if I were to get in there, he can insult me.
I know, right? Lucky you. Check that out. I would have to run for my life from this man. This guy, Shawn Spears and Connors. I mean, there's not really much to break into this match. I mean, it was just, I felt like this match was pretty much
a short little intro, brief match, enhancement talent for Uriah Connors, formerly known as Brogan Finley, versus Shawn Spears, who wins by pinfall with his move called the C4. Now, I hear that, I immediately think of Battleship. For those who don't know or may not remember, I'm showing my age here. The game where you have two boards that are folded up like a boat, and you put little ships around, and you call it like B4. And if you hit it, you put a little red dot, a little red peg on the boat. And if you don't hit it, you hit a white one, and you try to sink every single one of your opponent's boats before they can get to yours.
Oh, you suck my battleship! I remember that. I remember the commercials. I remember that, and they would yell so aggressively, "You suck my battleship!" I just image a bunch of little people in a little boat just drowning.
I didn't think that.
Oh, I'm very dramatic with my thing. I just image Mufasa and freaking Genie from Aladdin just drowning. And you just see Scar and Jafar just going, They didn't sound like that. I had a better laugh. But yeah, this match was just to get Shawn Spears, get familiar with that crowd again. Get him a win.
Also for the promo afterwards where he talks about how we're all fake hypocrites, calls out Ridge Holland about it. And good. Ridge Holland comes out and he goes right at it and beats him down. He throws Spears across the ring. Spears throws the chair so that way Ridge Holland can finish him off. And he's like, "Come finish me." But before he can, Security comes out. Referees come out to talk him down and to get him away and to make sure he doesn't do all that. Well, Spears is laughing about it because he knew that Ridge Holland was going to grab the chair and hit him upside the head or up on his back or whatever way to try to destroy this man who just came back to the WWE NXT brand.
It's hilarious to me. I don't know. Something about these segments where you have someone, they're like, come on, finish me, take me out, hit me with the chair, and then he doesn't do it. I believe
Well,
that's
he probably was going to do it, but then he got sworn by referees who stopped him.
Right. So that's going to be a match for next week. Let's talk about this segment real quick. Brooks Jensen and Josh Briggs, they have I don't want to even say heart to heart. If we have another episode, let's say it, folks. We have another episode of As the Mustache Turns. Oh, but you had another name, though. What was the name of it?
Mustache.
Days of Our Mustache. We have another soap opera.
The Mustache and the Restless.
I kind of like that one, The Young and the Mustache.
I mean, it sounds funny, but I feel like the Mustache and the Restless kind of sounds a little funnier.
I like that. No, I like that. I mean, come on, guys. I mean, we got some soap opera fans in here. Come on. Let's add some names in there. Come on. But they haven't said.
Yeah, but Briggs comes up to Jensen and asks if he's sure about fighting Femi next week. And Jensen says he's taking control of his career and his life. And that you, Josh Briggs, triggered something in him. And whenever he wishes him luck or not, he's going to stand across from Femi, ready to bust him and become champion. And Briggs actually wishes him luck before he leaves, with Dijak rolling up and accuses Briggs of lying to Jensen's face.
He is. You know, I thought online. I'm sorry. I'm a little hyped up now. I don't know what was in it. I put a little too much honey into the tea. But I thought people online and they said, this is your fault, Josh, for telling them he had no balls. Oh, so I'm sorry. If this guy said jump off a bridge, is that Josh's fault? No. Jensen wants to sit here and he's going to challenge this big, strong black man. And this big, strong black man is going to hurt him. And I hope that someone is there to pick up the pieces because Josh shouldn't be there.
Briggs is not going to go out there to pick up the pieces.
No, I thought, what, so he can join him?
He's not going to go out there to pick up the pieces. Here's what I think is going to happen for next week. I'm going to make a prediction. If I'm right on this, I'm going to freak out. So my prediction is Femi and Jensen have their match. Oba Femi destroys the crap out of Jensen as the match is going on. It's over. Femi wins. He retains the belt. He leaves with Jensen all laid out in the ring, all injured and like trying to get up and trying to figure out what's going on, trying to regain consciousness, come back. Briggs walks out into the ring, comes in to look at Jensen lying on the ground, contemplate helping him, and then fights against it, and then goes back to the backstage to the locker room area to catering wherever his heart desires.
You know, it's interesting that you say that because, you know, just to add this little detail right here, because as Josh says, good luck, you have Dijak, who just came off from a big victory. It looked like he found his next feud with Josh Briggs. And he says, you're lying to him. You're lying to his face. And I think that's going to be something. I think that's going to be, I don't know what.
It's a feud that those two will have instead of teaming together because you and a couple other people are like, oh, maybe make a good tag team. I'm like, no.
Who, Dijak and Josh?
Yes.
They're just two big guys. I mean, it sounded like we would just be recreating the skyscrapers from back in the 90s or so. I like Dijak just being solo. I don't think he needs to be a tag team. If Bridge is going to
doesn't need to be in a team. He hasn't been in a team since the creation of T-Bar and Mace.
Well, let's not talk about that.
And they split up Jensen and Briggs a while ago with that,
right?
And Alan Henley as well. So why put them back working in a team if y'all are trying to push them to be more of a single star? If you didn't want them working solo and have them more doing tag stuff, you should just let them with, well, not Dijak, but Jensen and Briggs.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The next match we have for the almost an NXT the women's tag team championship. We have Lyra Valkyria and Tatum Paxley going against the Kabuki Warriors. The Kabuki Warriors are back on NXT. We're talking about two former
the most dominant NXT Women's Champion to ever exist in the NXT brand, to have never been defeated once while defending her title and did not lose the title ever. Vacated the title down to one of her greatest rivals, somebody that the WWE had such great potential and had such a great thing with her in NXT, but messed up with her when putting her up in the main roster. One Athena, formerly known as Miss Ember Moon, who has been dominating and destroying the ROH women's division since she has been there.
And she has been. I just wish I could see it.
Champion for over a year.
She has been. She's been dominating. I mean, the only thing I saw of her, I see clips of her, but I saw this recent clip, and I forget how many weeks ago. It might have been like a week or two. But she had like the clips on Nyla Rose, and she went through a table or something like that. It looked pretty cool. But yes, you're absolutely right. Asuka, a dominant NXT Women's Champion. She never lost that title. She even just vacated the championship. She just said, "You can't beat me." Yeah. And then we have Kairi saying, the first winner of the Mae Young Classic. I would like for that to come back. I thought that was a pretty cool thing that they had. They had only two of them.
Classic can come back. Have Women's Evolution come back. Try to do more women's type things as far as like wrestling. Like they got a lot of these tag teams that they're putting together.
Yep.
Why not do like a tag match thing, battle royal type thing for WrestleMania or something like that, or just have a women's Royal Rumble for WrestleMania like they've done before.
Oh, interesting.
To showcase some of the women that they aren't utilizing as much, to at least do something in WrestleMania or in any other pay-per-view.
There we go. I mean, I think it's an interesting idea. Why not?
Not everybody wants in the back and catering doing nothing.
So what you're saying is have another women's pay-per-view, which I would be down for. I thought Evolution was fine. I don't know why they didn't do it. I was fine with it.
Who goes to watch wrestling matches and who records wrestling matches and puts them up online. Very few times do any of the men's matches that I put up overpower any of the women's matches I put up on YouTube. One of my highest viewed videos is a women's wrestling match with Camille, the former NWA Women's Champion, versus a wrestler named Valentina Rossi. It has over 101 likes and around maybe 7,000 views on my YouTube channel. Wow. The power. Women's wrestling has power. And there's a lot of women's wrestling fans out there. Heck, there's a lot of them that talk about how they wish more women would get inducted into the Hall of Fame. More divas and legends being added into the video games, and besides create a wrestler type things. People like women's wrestling. Come on, WWE, give more for us.
I'd say give them time. I think they're trying to figure something out, but I say give them time. But speaking of women's wrestling,
they progressed to having women wrestle for longer than 3 minutes. Give us another women's pay-per-view. Give us Evolution 2.
There we go. You heard Wrestling Dog. We have speaking of women's wrestling, we have the women's tag team titles on the line. I think everyone knew the Kabuki Warriors were going to win. It was just great to see them out there. They've been they were out there on Raw yesterday. They didn't compete, but they were out here competing tonight. And I thought this was cool. I mean, they gave him some time. They really gave him time. Lyra and Tatum, this is the second tag match together, the Kabuki Warriors. They've been teaming for years. They know each other. They have chemistry. And, I mean, it's not much to break down except they won. And they won in, I'm going to say dominant fashion.
Diving elbow inverted DDT combination on Tim Paxley. So that was
no, I wanted to say, no, I just didn't want to say, because I was almost said they won in dominant fashion. But no, at the end, their chemistry just overwhelmed these two. Even there was the spot towards the end where Lyra accidentally kicked Tatum, and the Kabuki Warriors took advantage.
Miscommunication spot.
Oh yeah, no. But as good as this match, and this match was good. I do want to say it wasn't the story of the match. No. It was what happened after. Because after the match, which is the story. Go ahead.
Because after the match, Little Miss whining, moaning, groaning, bitching, complaining. I'm gonna call her Miss Farrah Abraham right now. For those who have watched Teen Mom.
Oh yeah, I know that name.
I never watched Teen Mom, but I've seen her on Are You the One, which is another MTV show. Not Are You the One? X on the Beach, where a lot of like so like celebrities, like social media stars and all that go to this island and stuff, and they try to find love with each other. But in reality, these people, they find out who their exes are, and they bring them to bring drama. That's where I seen her.
Oh.
And that woman is very dramatic, and most recently, the most dramatic thing she's had is had too much work done to the point where she looks unrecognizable. But anyways, Roxanne Perez comes out, and she's so upset with Lyra because she's not getting her title match with her that she throws her into the turnbuckles a few times, bends her arm over the bottom rope, and double stomp arm breaker over that rope with Lyra screaming in agony. And they go to a commercial break. The last time we had something like that was Bron Breakker giving Von Wagner a concussion.
No, this is true. I'm sorry. You know, when you mentioned this woman's name, you said she don't look recognizable anymore. I said, wait a minute, what? I had to Google this. Yeah. I'm so sorry. I mean, we have a show.
Was asked Farrah Abraham, the one that did a, you know what? Yes, it is. And I know you know exactly what you know what I'm talking about, George Lewis. I don't know if he knows. He's probably going to see that on Google while doing the search, but.
What, she did something inappropriate?
Something inappropriate that's not the best idea to talk about on here, but let's just say a few women of the WWE have been rumored and or have been accused or have done said thing with either actual other WWE stars or other people.
I'm going to look at this after. I'm so...
It's not PG.
Yeah, and we're going to try to... And we're going to keep this PG here. So we're at the
truth. I don't even know if that's PG. Boom. It's
you know what? I'm gonna try to put that clip in here so we can have that in case something happens. Definitely. But let's talk about this match and the segment, and then we'll wrap it up. Because we're at the 40-minute mark, so we're gonna do a commercial. But finally, goes.
Sorry, hold on, Chris.
No, go ahead. What do you got?
The Kabuki Warriors are gonna lose the.
Oh, I can highlight that.
Monday to Zoe Zark and Shayna.
No, I don't see that.
Soon.
I don't see them dropping it to them.
The story right now is more on Bayley and Dakota, and everybody knows you cannot trust Dakota Kai working with anybody because she betrays everybody. What I thought is that they were going to stretch it out to WrestleMania.
I can see them losing it at Mania. I guess it depends on what's going on, but I don't see them dropping it too. And now, granted, they've been doing what they could to make that women's tag team division. I've blatantly said that I appreciate that they're trying to make this women's tag team division a division, so I appreciate that. It looked like these guys have been the forefront that they want to make look strong, talking about Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler, but I don't see them dropping the title on Monday.
Listen, as much as I don't mind seeing them work as a tag team, but I feel like it's a little bit random-ish. But the last time we had a random tag team with Zoe Stark in it was with Miss Io Shirai, where they did win the belts, and they had a whole dynamic of Zoe trying to get Io to like her. So we don't need that again. And all I want to know is which one of Damage Control is going to betray each other next, because literally Io has betrayed Kairi before when they used to work together in NXT.
Wait, who betrayed who? Io?
Io betrayed Kairi.
Did she?
Yes. Io betrayed Kairi before. Io's betrayed Kairi. She's betrayed Candice LeRae. That woman has...
No, she definitely did.
She's betrayed almost everybody she's worked with. And I was like, don't give her any more tag teams because she's just...
How can you even have this as a group? Like, I feel like you can't trust Dakota.
Before Asuka and Kairi were at it, everybody in Damage Control had betrayed somebody. Dakota, Bayley, and Io. All I was waiting for is who's going to do the betraying first. I didn't expect it to be Io. But once they put in Kairi and Asuka, I was like, that's why it's going to happen. Now it makes sense.
Now it makes sense.
Have Dakota as the mouthpiece because who else is going to do the...
Right. That's why they kept her on the group. That's why they kept her on the group, because they need someone to be their mouthpiece. And she's going to... And I think Dakota's done a pretty solid job being their mouthpiece. She does
fantastic on the mic.
Mm-hmm.
And she's a great in-ring worker, but she's been better on the mic.
Oh, she's fantastic.
She has been cleared to wrestle again. We just don't know when she's going to do it.
Take her time when she's ready. But we'll what's the
say? Some women's wrestling again with Blair Davenport versus Fallon Henley, as we said.
Oh, you want to take the floor, madam?
Well, let's see. Raise your hand if you thought that Blair Davenport was going to win this match against Fallon Henley because she likes beating the crap out of everybody.
Yeah, I thought she was going to win. I'm not even going to hold you.
That was the surprise of the night for me for a little bit because Fallon Henley won, because now she gets to show, like, I may help everybody and I might be nice and try to be respectful and try to give a little bit of input to people that she feels need some help. That doesn't mean she can't hold her own and kick butt. That's why she's in the video game.
Wait, Fallon? She is in the game. She is. Yeah.
Fallon Henley is in the game. Blair Davenport is too, but Fallon Henley is in the game. But it was good. Good back and forth. I mean, you can't go wrong with it. Fallon Henley has dealt with people like that before, as far as like brute strength and aggression. I feel like the closest that she's had to that has been Tiffany at times and Kiana James before they got put into a random team because Kiana James liked Jensen, even though she was just using him so that way she could try to somehow get the bar that Fallon Henley's family owns land.
See, I was really confused because when you said like, I said, really? It looked like she used him.
But that's air quotes.
Oh, I just thought you were stretching your fingers.
No, I stretch them like that, but I already cracked my fingers earlier today, so it's not going to make that noise.
Oh, okay. I hear you. Now I get you. Yeah, no, this match was there. And this match was really to set up, and George put it in the chat. And the return of So Ruka. So Ruka put that sign, that little video last week. It said, "See you soon," which was set
and
for
it was
her.
on the
And
beach, like, who else is it going to be?
I thought it was
that whole Surfer Girl Beach vibe going on.
Oh, see, when you say that, I thought it was Auto Rocket. I said, cool, NXT just obtained Auto Rocket, Reggie Rocket, Twister, and I hated the other guy. He was kind of fat. Squid. What's his name? That's Squid. Yeah, Squid. You remember Squid?
Yes, I enjoyed watching Rocket Power. I wanted to play sports because of that show.
See, I wanted to do X Games with that, and then I had a scrape on my knee, and I said, never again. So, no. But Rocket Power is fantastic. Check it out, and has an awesome intro, by the way. But yeah, no, you're absolutely right. The beach was that was all for her because that's her whole thing. She's back. She's and you know the thing too with So Ruka, you know, just as she was starting to build some momentum, she was building momentum, got hurt, and got hurt, and now she got to rebuild that. And there's a lot of women, but I think it's good to have her back in this division. Is my point. I think it's great to have her back. I think that she's going to climb up the ranks because she was just getting better as each showing was going on. Matter of fact, one of my favorite moves that she would do was the springboard splash. I think that should be her finish. Well, actually, no, I take that back because she has the flipping RKO or cutter, so never mind. I mean, that's actually a lot cooler. But, yeah, it's good to have her back.
Signature move. It doesn't have to be a finisher, but that one that you said
is a
signature.
This is true. George said he never heard of Rocket Power. I am so hurt.
We're so heartbroken.
I know. You should go check it out. Not Google. Go to YouTube. You might see an episode or so, but it's a fun show if you still into cartoons. We got Good Chris. He said, I got my copy of WWE 2K24, 40 years of WrestleMania tomorrow morning. Good for you. I got to wait till Friday, so good for you. Tell us.
Here's another example. I mean, I'm sorry to cut you off, but I was seeing stuff that people are talking about with this game. It has 3 women's WrestleMania matches. 3. You know how many great women's WrestleMania matches are out there? More than 3. And one of the worst parts is the Trish and Mickey one isn't in there.
Yeah, that sucks. I think they don't do that because I don't know if Mickey's signed anywhere. But usually with stuff like that, because
it's fine that one's not there, but they can at least include more women in there. I mean, for crying out loud, they made a deluxe version with 2 of the current stars of WWE on the freaking game.
You know, you say that, and I can go back to a women's match. I'm not going to say this was the best match, but it was for the women's championship. Triple threat. It was WrestleMania 18. Lita, Trish Stratus, Jazz. And I would like to see Jazz back. Excuse me, hiccups. In a game again because she was very badass. So
the closest that is people doing that in Creative Wrestler.
And I do as you talk about the 3 matches, the 3 women's matches, I do say the big problem. Like I was looking at this game, there's like 40 years of WrestleMania, 21 matches. I'm like, only 21, and you have 40, and someone had to point out
matches, 40 years, and 18 of those matches happen to be men's matches because they decided to make only 3 of them women's matches.
Yep.
Which I felt like with 40, they could have maybe tried to do a little bit more as far as like add a little bit more women's matches. Like maybe do one a year from WrestleMania instead of it just having 21. Like make a little space. But we're getting off topic as far as like women's wrestling. I mean, not women's wrestling, NXT. But real quickly, speaking of women, we have backstage. Jacy Jayne is berating Chase and Duke Hudson for losing the title match she got them.
Good.
Meanwhile, Thea Hale is excited about her brawl with Kiana James and Izzy Jane and says that she thinks she has a tag match next week right now, even though she technically doesn't. JC asks, who's she going to tag with? Hey, Thea Hale says JC. JC says, no, she's busy. Meaning she doesn't want to help out her friend, which is funny because she's been helping out Thea Hale look more like a mature adult, giving her advice on how to get a guy, which wasn't the best advice because he liked her for who she was. But
you win, you lose.
And not to mention that when they had lost and she was just trying to comfort Riley and Chase and Duke Hudson, Jacy Jayne just dissed to Thea Hale. Thea snaps and leaves all upset. Like, if you're trying to give this girl tough love, then what the hell? If not, then what the hell are you doing? You're just trying to be a mean girl? What are we in? Mean Girls Jacy Jayne edition?
No. Don't compare Jacy Jayne to that Lindsay Lohan movie.
I like that Lindsay Lohan movie. It's a classic.
Yeah, and then they made a remake, and it made me go, that's a classic crap, because they should have never remade that. But,
listen, they wanted the money. That's why they remake movies.
Well, I want money too, but you don't see me just committing crime. But I do sit here and say that what Jacy Jayne is giving is tough love. Thea needs to go through. You said some things. You said she taught her how to dress, be a grown woman. Now Thea got to stand on her two little legs and stand up for herself. She caused this fight. She caused this brawl. Now she has to deal with it. And you know, JC has to do. Look, Jacy Jayne, what do you want her to do? She's not Supergirl. She's not an Avenger. She did everything she could. She saved Chase U. Now she got to do everything. Now she got to change diapers. She got to feed them their milk.
She teamed with Thea Hale before.
She has to mop the floor. Yeah, she did. But did she cause this fight? Did she get into the face of Kiana James and Izzy? I'm waiting.
I never said that she did.
Absolutely, Wrestling Dog. You knew this was going to happen when I came back. I have to defend Jacy Jayne. You know what? As I was off last week, I had to figure out a name. And don't worry, guys. I'm not going to call you Diarrhea Dwayne. I have came up with something creative. The people who don't like Jacy Jayne, I call you Jealous Janes, because you know why? You're jealous of her success. You're jealous of her intelligence. She is fantastic. Thank you, Jacy Jayne, for saving Chase U. Thank you for putting your foot down. Thank you for standing up for yourself, because they were trying to use you. And every time there's a problem, do stuff. Good job, Jacy Jayne. Round of applause. 1,000 points for her. Let's freaking go. I had to make sure my mouth is clean for that one. See, even George in the chat. Thea needs to fall in line. See, look at this. Look at this. Look right here. Thea needs to fall in line with Jacy Jayne. Good job, George. Jacy Jayne should be president of Chase U. Good job, George.
Yes.
George
what
again.
About the triple threat match between Ronda, Becky, and
That can wait. That can wait. I'm talking about Jacy Jayne. Ronda Rousey and Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair can wait. Jacy Jayne for president. The fantastic. Good job, George. But let's talk about this one too. What about the triple threat with Ronda Rousey, Becky Lynch, and Charlotte Flair?
Listen, that should have been added in the game.
I thought that was. It's not.
No.
I really thought it was. No.
No,
It's incorrect.
it should be.
Sorry.
For many reasons. The main reasons are it's the first women's main event match in WrestleMania history, and it's the first time a women's wrestler won both belts from both brands in a match.
You know what my only problem, and you said you broke down the historical parts of that match. My big problem with that was the match should have really just been Becky against Ronda, especially when they were building towards that. But then they put Charlotte Flair.
Charlotte at the last minute, but hey, they wanted to put asses in seats, even though they thought
that. But asses were already in seats just for that. But they did what they did. And I'm not gonna say the match was. I can't sit here and say this was like a favorite match of mine or anything like that. But they have
favorite of mine either. But hey,
right.
It's a historical match for its own reason. Now,
Right.
we do have a few things we have to discuss quickly as far as like segments. We'll go over those briefly before we talk about
Sure.
the main event. So real quickly, Ava Rain is telling Gigi that Ariana doesn't want to fight because she's just going to run away. Ariana comes up and says she doesn't want to fight. Gigi tells her that she's in for an ass kicking, with Ariana says that she needs to watch her potty mouth and decides that she will take a match as long as a win means that she gets to take Dolan and bring out her true inner beauty and get rid of that vulgar language. You can be beautiful and still talk like a sailor. With Gigi accepting and Ariana skipping away like she's gonna go frolic and pick flowers in a field. Then we have Shawn Spears being interviewed on his way out of the building and talks about some cryptic business about Ridge Holland.
Sure.
And then the No Quarter Catch crew is in the ring. He says the whole world, Drew Gulak says that the whole world now sees what they see in Charlie Dempsey, talking about how the cup lines up with his vision for the nature of their sport, that it's not just his prize, it's their prize all together as a collective, and that any of them can defend it. Basically, like the rule of they all can come out. You don't know which one we're fighting until we go in.
The free bird rule. That's the free bird rule.
Which I think is a smart idea because you have to try to prepare for all of them, and you don't know which one you're going to get until they walk into the ring. And then as they keep doing it, they say they're going to enter themselves in the tag team elimination tournament,
right,
to earn a title shot at Stand and Deliver. William Regal comes in, makes an entrance with them.
It was so great to see him.
Yes. It was delightful to see everybody again. And then Charlie Dempsey gets the "That's Your Father" chant. And he says this
that was great.
Means the world to him, Mr. William Regal, and hopes that they will defend it with integrity that it deserves. And Dempsey steps up and says that he can defend it better than William Regal ever could, and that Regal says he will be watched. Now, I like Nick Joseph. However, what he said made me cringe very hard. He says that Charlie isn't too old for his dad to give him a spanking. First of all, Mr. Vic Joseph.
There we go.
It was fine when Ray did it to Dominic because it was funny because Dominic is 6'2" and Ray is like 5'4". That's why it was funny when he got the ass whooping at WrestleMania with the belts. Charlie Dempsey and William Regal are very close in height and they look way too similar. So it'd be very weird to see William Regal spanking Charlie Dempsey for acting like that.
I mean, I've been saying for the look.
I hope to the Lord Almighty that Vince Joseph never makes a comment like that about William Regal and Charlie Dempsey ever again.
I mean, I've been saying for the longest time, you can't trust Vic Joseph. Vic Joseph be going in the kitchen thinking he's cooking, but you know what he did? He just caused a gas fire. He just caused an oil fire. No, you can't trust him. And he says things like this, I immediately zone out and I fall asleep. But then I wake up because I got to be here for the Unpopular Review NXT review show. So Vic Joseph, get it together. You know what my favorite Vic Joseph moment is? I'll tell you what it is. It was on Halloween and they stole his candy. Good job.
I knew you were going to say something about the candy.
I love that.
Somebody who needs to be consoled. The metaphor are trying to console Noam Dar for losing the cup. For real.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Lash Legend says that she can't do all this again. And she tells Ora Mensa, call Jakar and let her know what's going on. Lash sits him down, checks up on him, and he wakes up and says that the past is the past and it's time to move on to bigger and better things. Which means
I'm actually
the North American Championship belt, or be one of the next people to try to go after the NXT Championship belt. Which, thank God, because now he doesn't have to do the whole Delulu being all comatose in a wheelchair, acting like the world is over because he doesn't have his damn cup.
Yeah, I think that's cool.
And it was fun to see him defend it because we were all interested to see who's going to take that cup away from him. As long as he didn't do that act again, we would have been interested in watching again.
Yeah, and I think it's good that for him to do something different. I mean, he did hold that for a while. I think he did such a fantastic job putting that cup up and making it a big deal and something to fight for. But now it's interesting to see what he goes for. Does he go for the NXT Championship? Does he go for the North American? Now, listen, I think right now, and we'll get into the main event about the NXT Championship match, but I think him and Oba going for the North American Championship, sign me up. I would be totally down for that. Now, I don't see him winning the champion. Oh, yeah. Oh, easily.
And the three of them are going to be fanning him at the side, trying to wake him up, trying to make sure that
but you know what?
That he's still conscious by the time the match is over.
And you know what? That's cool. But that match is going to eat, and I think that match is going. Oh my god, it sounds like today's.
It's going to be like a whole Tom and Jerry cat and mouse thing going on.
Oh yeah.
Back up, and this time the big fat cat's going to win.
Well, no. If I had to make a comparison, I would be that the mouse is Jerry, which would be Noam Dar, and Oba would be Spike. Remember the dog who kept beating the hell out of him?
Yes, but there's a reason why I say the cat and not the dog.
Why? What's the reason?
Have a problem with the mouse.
Well, in this episode, he does. There was that one episode where they were trying to be friends, and then they were trying to cut steak, and something happened where they realized like this is being uneven, and he had a problem.
They were cutting the steak big for themselves and teeny tiny for the other two.
Yeah, and that's why he had more beef with Tom, but in that moment, he kind of was looking at Jerry side eye like, damn
the
mouse.
Piece that he cut for himself was about 98.8% of the steak.
It was more like 90, 99%.
Less would have been half of that for both of them, which would have been a 0.6%, which was like a hell no.
That is great. But before we got one more match, one more segment to talk about, and that is the main event. We're going to play one more commercial. We want to say thank you guys for watching Unpopular Review. This is NXT Review Show, and we'll be right back after these commercials.
Last time on UPR Shorts.
You're looking it up, huh?
I'm looking at micro wrestling. I'm looking at micro wrestling. Oh my god. Oh, ooh. Chris, you gotta hold on a second. We gotta watch this shit. Chris, we gotta do a review show on this fucking show, Chris, please.
Is it on TV? Do they have a TV deal?
Yes,
oh, really?
they do.
Surprise.
Oh, Chris,
Free coupon.
please. Free coupon. Chris, look at this. Even the referee is a little guy. Oh, God, Chris, look at this. Oh, my God, I love it. Oh, she slapped that shit out. Oh, look at this. Wow, look at this. High flying action.
I mean,
look at that guy.
everything's high flying.
Watch this. Watch this big guy that's coming up. Look at this guy. Oh, he died.
The big boot, huh?
Oh, Chris, this is the greatest. This is the greatest.
You should be ashamed of yourself. Oh, he just killed that man.
Look at that. He did that. Look at that second rope moonsault. Look at the ref. He must go to the same ref school as Aubrey Edwards. Holy shit. Chris, can we just do a review on this?
There's no television.
Oh my God, please.
You can ask somebody in the chat if they want to do this review with you, okay?
And now we have the great grandson Pooba in shock from what he just saw. I was enjoying the clip up until Big Daddy Cool Steven made that comment about that ref being from the same ref school as Aubrey Edwards. I was like, no, Aubrey Edwards.
I don't know why people don't like her. Like, she's in front of me.
She's entertaining. People don't like her.
I've never had no problem with her. I don't know. I don't think we're gonna
to talk about the very last match of NXT with myself, the wrestling doll, aka Dahlia Dark, although I might be changing that name sometime in the future, possibly.
Ooh.
And we got the great grandson Pooba, aka Deck.
I mean, let's just talk about this main event. I don't know how to even follow up with that commercial, but we have the main event. We have one Carmel Hayes going against
Tony D Angelo of the family for the NXT #1 contenders match for the championship belts.
Go ahead. It seemed like you wanted to take the charge, madam. Go ahead.
No, I just wanted to talk like that for a brief second.
Oh.
I just tried to talk like Tony D. I don't know how I did.
I saw you pull. You did a fantastic job. Good job. Totally nailed it.
Hairbrush. I don't have a crowbar, but I have a hairbrush.
I'm glad you don't have a crowbar. I would have said, what's going on?
Well, I would buy a plastic one if I wanted to dress like I was a member of the Italian mob and act like Tony D.
Oh, you could be Holly
Or
Point.
like Adriana Rizzo.
Oh, there we go. Adriana Rizzo. I almost said Rizzo. This match was to determine the #1 contender for Dragunov's NXT Championship. The These two got history. I didn't even realize that these guys faced each other a few years back. I guess it was for the North American Championship. These guys are it's also
it was, and you know what? The roles were reversed. Melo was the face, D'Angelo was the heel.
Right. The match starts off. I mean, Melo comes out the gate, starts attacking, just wailing on D'Angelo. D'Angelo starts to show his power. He starts to outmatch him with strength. But that's when Melo tries to take a breather. And then that's when these two have a little back and forth. They exchange some blows. Melo looked like he's getting he's gonna get the win here. I know I'm missing some spots here, but I don't do every little spot from spot. But
if you want those, that's what the blogs are for.
There you go. And Melo goes for it. Looked like he's gonna go for his finish, and you hear Trick's theme. And when you hear Trick's theme, that's when he stops. He's like, but this was all a ruse because D'Angelo
hit him with the forget about it.
Absolutely. And
number one contender, the NXT Championship for a match against Ilya Dragunov. And at the end of the match, which this was my favorite part, Tony D apologized for the stun he pulled, but he says he's a giving Don, so he's gonna give Melo a present. And Trick comes down, he's throwing hands, and Trick whooped that Melo. And he cleaned house from the security and turned around so hard that Melo Hayes ran out scared out of that ring for his life because he didn't have his guards with their vests to keep them safe.
I like this. I like this because eventually you had to get to. They had to do something because Stand and Deliver. I mean, Stand and Deliver will be here in no time. So you have to have these two go against each. Start hitting each other. Start building to that. And this was the right time. So yeah, it's great to see Trick back. The fans love it. Booker T loves it because he's saying whoop that. Sure, he was like, yes, let's go. So this is some good stuff. Tony D is going to be the number one contender for the NXT Championship at Stand and Deliver. So that should be an interesting encounter between him and Dragunov. And then you also have him. We got in the chat. Hold on.
Melo versus Dragunov like 3 times already. We didn't need it.
But real quick, I just wanted to hit George. He said they're turning the family into a faction. Yeah, I guess you're pretty much right because you have Rizzo.
The God of the Phantasma becoming the LWO got called up to the main roster. They didn't really have anybody like a family type faction down there anymore.
I did want to touch on some things real quick. I did like that the announcers were talking about some of the history with Tony D and his Stand and Deliver history. So Stand and Deliver, and I forgot about this. He fought Tommaso Ciampa, won, and that's how he became the Don of NXT. He's beaten Melo. Well, no, he hasn't beat Melo. I'm sorry. It was something else that they mentioned, and I was like, oh, it was nice to be reminded of it, and I just don't remember exactly what it was. But I thought that this roadblock card, which is to set the standard for not standard, but set the road for Stand and Deliver. Yes, and I thought that, and I thought they did a really good job. I thought the opening match they started off really, really hot. They did a lot of great things to progress a lot of stories moving forward. So good job on the NXT and good job to you guys in the chat. We appreciate you guys just watching us and hope that you enjoyed this review. So we're going to do some quick plugs because we are going to call it a night, right, doll? We're going to call it. Let's talk about some of these shows. I feel like we don't have all the graphics here, but we're going to do it anyway. Let's start. Wrestling Doll, why don't you start off with it? The week starts off with this show. What do we got here?
Well, we have the Mike Knox Show, as it says down there. His tagline, the show for the intelligent wrestling fan, that starts every Monday at 6 o'clock. Talking about all things wrestling in Raw, NXT, AEW, SmackDown, TNA, anything and everything of all things wrestling.
Absolutely. Good job. What about this one, Wrestling Doll?
And then we have our Monday Night Raw reviews, which are hosted by one executive consultant and one Jeff, a.k.a. Evil Dose.
Yay! We like Evil Dose over here. Good job. Next week, you can catch me on the Monday night. I'll be filling in for the executive consultant, so it would be Badguy Jack and Evil Dose, all for on Mondays. And it's been a while since I worked Mondays. Monday Night Ron returns on Monday night. You already know.
Grand Slam Dose.
That's good. I like that. That's fantastic. Good job.
Just thought of it.
Yeah, genius. George, we gotta give some points for the wrestling dog. Can we make sure that she have over 20 points? Definitely over 20 points. You guys know you can catch us for NXT, but let's talk about
Tuesdays.
That's us, the best duel, and we better win this year. Damn it! But what about this one, wrestling dog? What we got here?
Well, we got tomorrow. We got the AEW show after Revolution with one Evil Dose, Dan the Man, and Vinny, and whoever else is able to join them, whoever it may be, whether it be the Great Grand Slam Puba, whether it be Sheriff, whether it be the executive consultant, anybody and everybody that can go on and watch.
If you leave the door open, I will be there. That's really it.
The Forbidden Door?
I refuse to touch that damn door. I'm so tired of that damn door. I think I sprayed graffiti on that damn door. What else have we got here, Russell? You're doing fantastic.
And every Saturday, either between the hours of 12 to 1 p.m., depending on when everybody's available, we have our SmackDown reviews from the night before. Thank you. With Z, Silent, and Vic talking all things SmackDown. And sometimes they're joined occasionally by the likes of the executive consultant or the Great Grand Slam or whoever else is available that day.
There we go. And the last show, let's plug it. You want to take this one?
And the ladies take over talking about all things Collision from AEW on Saturdays with one caption, Shay Sawyer and the Sheriff.
Absolutely. We have so much wrestling content here. We don't have a graphic for it right now, but on Thursday, I think around 8 or so, Sting just retired on Sunday, and we're going to have a tribute show. We're going to have a round table, get thoughts about our favorite memories, moments of the Stinger. I want to say, enjoy your retirement, Sting. It bothered me that I couldn't find a picture. I had a picture with him in 2011, 2012. Me and some buddies went to a TNA show, and I have a picture of him. He doesn't have the face paint on, but it was just so cool to take a picture with him. A real icon in the biz. So we're going to talk about Sting on Thursday. On Wednesday,
I do have one picture of Sting on my Instagram account. I'm not taking the picture with him, but it was at the only AEW taping for Dynamite.
Oh, nice.
I was sitting in the crowd with one executive consultant, Mike Knopf, and David Sanderson, aka the technician.
Hey.
He didn't wrestle that night, but he did come out to, I believe, to help Darby Allin or someone else that was getting beaten down.
I'm pretty sure he did. I'm pretty sure he did because Darby is going to do all that. I mean, that spot that he did. I mean, some people liked it. I really didn't like that spot. I just think it's just unnecessary.
He didn't need to do that, and especially not with real glass. Darby,
oh.
I know. Listen, I know Jeff Hardy might be one of your tops or your inspiration for why you wrestle and how you wrestle. Don't kill yourself too soon.
Please don't. Just don't kill yourself. Period. Please don't, dude. Like, it's wild. We got George real quick. He said, Wrestling Dog, you get 6,000 points. And he gave me 6,000. Wow, George is in such a giving mood. Thank you, George. Let's plug what I was going to say. Oh, boom. On Wednesday, we're going to be...
Our stuff.
Absolutely. We're going to do Superman tomorrow around 7:30. But please plug your stuff because you have a fantastic YouTube channel. It's in the link. So if you guys have not subscribed to it yet, what are you doing? So, Wrestling Doll, please talk about your YouTube page.
I have my YouTube channel, The Unofficial Camera Woman, where I go throughout Central Florida and occasionally South Florida to record all things indie wrestling. I don't have any videos up from the past couple weekends because I wasn't at shows. I do have some from a show that I went to before, but it's not public for now because they were filming their things. They might put their stuff up first. I didn't get to talk to the person in charge, so I haven't made those public yet out of respect, just in case. If anybody wants it, I will send links for all of it. But I will be going to shows soon, so be on the lookout for those videos. And I will respond this to George Lewis. We will see Wesley, the greatest North American champion of all time of NXT history, period, end of story, back there once he is fully recovered from his back surgery.
Yeah, and can't wait to see him. Matter of fact, I went to a HOG show this past weekend, and I saw his buddies, the Rascals, and they had.
You saw Zachary Wentz and Trey Miguel?
I sure did. Yeah.
When we were live at TNA when they were in town.
Nice. All right.
I got to see Trey Miguel wrestle against Nick Nemeth.
Oh wow. Okay. All right. That felt like that was a recent taping then.
Yes.
That was like
it was Trinity's last public taping before she went back to the WWE.
Nice. Oh, check you out. So when we eventually do get this TNA tape review thing going on, we gotta get you on.
You'll probably find me. I'm in the crowd wearing a bright orange beanie. I put it on around some point because I was hiding my head, but it just made it easy for me to get spotted. I had a couple people that like, hey, they saw me.
I gotta look this up. That's fantastic. Awesome stuff. Love it. Please subscribe to her YouTube channel. I have a podcast, an audio podcast. We just did an episode on Sunday, uploaded for Monday. It is called the Big Pop Theory Podcast. It's me and one Shay Sawyer. We give our thoughts on the week of wrestling. We talk about storylines, matches. I don't want to say we book stuff, but we give our thoughts. It's a fun time. We giggle and laugh at our own jokes. Especially me. I think I am hilarious. So if you listen to it and you hear me laughing, you should laugh too because I am funny. So it's called the Big Pop Theory Podcast.
You weren't voted funniest host 6 years in a row for nothing.
6 going on 8 this year, baby. But yeah,
has there ever been a tie for anything as far as like the UPR awards?
Tie meaning
2 people, 2 or more people, or more than one person, or more than one show. Or
we did have a tie last year. I forgot what award it was because C won one, and I think I won one. But it was like this award. It was like 2 shows, and they were tied. So it did happen last. So the years that I've been here, that was only the one time that it's happened.
Well, we'll see what happens. Who knows? Maybe both of us could win funniest host at the same time, and that way. NXT brand.
We gotta keep it there. I mean, you was holding down the UPR Heavyweight Championship here on NXT.
I mean, we did have Revolution. I didn't tally up the votes, and I did not say the belt was up on the line. So
there we go. So it's still here on Tuesday.
I didn't have my Miz 8-day reign. I didn't have my 2-minute reign that Randy Orton had before. I didn't have my very short Finn Balor Universal Championship period that he had as well.
You know what?
I am still champion, technically, because I didn't count the votes. So
there you go. So you know what? Because you didn't feel like defending it, and as you shouldn't, because like all that paperwork. So good job, Wrestling Dog. Keep that reign going.
I didn't want to because the executive consultant kept going on and on about how I was going to lose because of the AEW pay-per-view.
Well, no one listens to the executive consultant. I zoom out. When he calls, I fall asleep. So please, no one listens to him. So good job, Wrestling Dog. Continue to subscribe to all the stuff on Unpopular Review, her YouTube channel, my audio podcast. Is a great time. We thank you guys.
You can see all kinds of former NXT, WWE, AEW, and or current, and NWA.
Yeah.
And Impact Stars as well. So be on the lookout.
Look out for that. We thank you guys for joining us on the stream. We'll see you next week. We're not even going to play the music because that whole thing is but we're going to say goodbye. We're going to say adios. Tune in tomorrow for AEW Dynamite. Check the boys out. And we will see you guys. I'm sorry, we're the best UPR duo, but the best UPR duo will see you guys next week. Say goodbye to the lovely people, Wrestling Doll.
So long, farewell to you, my friends. Goodbye for now until we meet again.
Bye.
If anybody can... Dang it.
Hold on. No. Finish your sentence.
I was about to say, if anybody knows what I'm referencing, leave a comment.
Leave the comments. Bye, folks.